Hey everyone, it's Jason from Game-Rave TV.
Boom shakalaka!
Not yet, dude. Not yet. Hey everyone, it's Jason from GameRave.com, otherwise known as Danger Boy. This is Game-Rave TV. This week we return to celebrating the 20th anniversary of the US PlayStation, coming up on September 9th, and this time we focus on two more of the launch day games, two arcade games. The first of the two games we're going to talk about is
NBA Jam!
Thank you. So what is NBA Jam Tournament Edition? Well, for starters, it's the sequel to the original NBA Jam that came out on the Genesis, Super Nintendo, and damn near every other system available at the time. It's also an arcade sequel to the original arcade NBA Jam, and it's between 1 and 4 players. At its core, it's basically simple basketball. It's 2-on-2. Most of the teams have about 4 or 5 players you can choose from. Now, NBA Jam Tournament Edition is still a good old 2D old-school arcade game, and the game featured player scaling, where as you moved in and out from the background, they got closer and larger. Most infamous for all of its different codes. You had, like, On Fire, you had Big Head Mode, there were celebrities. The arcade version actually had Mortal Kombat characters you could play as. But more importantly, when NBA Jam Tournament Edition came home to the PlayStation, and Sega Saturn for that matter, it supported the multi-tap, which means on launch day of the system, you could have bought 3 controllers and brought 3 friends over, and all 4 of you could have just started playing the arcade game like as if you were at the arcade. Even better, just like we discussed in the Where Are They Now Accessories Edition, you could use the memory card for each person. They could save their stats and everything. I actually had NBA Jam about a month and a half after I got my PlayStation when Street Fighter Alpha had launched with it, and I just remember putting hours into that damn game. And I'm not even a big sports person, but you know, with Blades of Steel and NBA Jam and Baseball Stars, if it's arcadey, I'll play it. So since this is the Where Are They Now segment, where the hell's NBA Jam now? After Tournament Edition, it kind of hit a rough patch. Midway started doing the EA thing, trying to release it as often as they could. It was followed up by like NBA Hang Time, Hoops, Extreme, which is that bizarro 3D one that actually NBA 2-ball demo was based off of. After Midway eventually closed in the late 2000s, EA actually bought the rights and re-released NBA Jam as a downloadable game on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I haven't really followed it since then, so I don't know if it was good. I know it had an expansion pack to it, but I don't know if it was popular enough to warrant another release, as I haven't had a chance to play it yet. And now let's move on to Raiden Project.
Warning, fanboy approaches.
So let's talk Raiden Project. Raiden Project is basically Raiden 1 and Raiden 2 from the arcade brought home to the PlayStation. And it's glorious! For you younger kids who didn't have a chance to be in arcades at the time, find one. I don't care if you have to come here to Illinois and go play at Galloping Ghost. Find one. Raiden Project was just an amazing, awesome, I cannot stop talking about it, like, I love this game. Vertical shooter where you had 2 types of lasers. You had the blue laser and the spread laser in the first one, well, bullets per se. And then in Raiden Project 2, you had the coolest weapon ever made, which is basically freaking purple lightning that homed in on enemies and grabbed them and so forth. Oh, seriously. Myself. Now, Raiden Project actually features one of the niftiest little options you can find in a video game, and this actually was more popular later on Japanese PS2 shooters. But with the PlayStation game, if you have the proper monitor, the game actually can be rotated into arcade ratio, which means it's taller than it is wide. And if you have the proper TV, you can actually play it as an arcade game in that right ratio, and it's awesome. The problem is in the game, the screen rotates one way, where almost every monitor I've ever seen rotates the other way, so technically you're playing reverse. There was supposed to be a Game Shark code that you could use to actually fix that issue and play it on an American vertical thing, like my HDMI monitor, but I haven't been able to find it. Raiden Project also has a really kind of sort of funny note in the variant category. It was never released in anything other than the long box, except there was actually a misprint for the game. Everything says Raiden Project, even the disc, but when you throw it into your PlayStation, it ends up being Kill the DNA Imperative. Holy screw job on that one, Batman. So, where's Raiden Project now? Well, besides the original Raiden being released on anything from the Jaguar to the TurboGrafx and the Super Nintendo and Genesis, in modern day, we actually have a legacy for it. We've got Raiden 3 on the PlayStation 2, and then on the Xbox 360, we have these. Oh, look at the pretty. Look at the pretty. You've got Raiden 4, which actually has extra levels for the 360 mode, and then you've got the collection of Raiden Fighters Aces, which is actually Raiden Fighters, Raiden Fighters 2, and Raiden Fighters Jet. Now, as far as collectability is concerned, both games never got a outside release of their original long box, so yay, no variants! As far as cost goes, NBA Jam can be had for a decent buck. Raiden Project is hit or miss. In tracking down the Air copy for the last couple of years, Raiden, as long as it's got a sticker sheet in it, you can pay anywhere from $25 to $50 for it. I've seen some sealed copies go for about $100, if not more, but really, who gives a shit? Just buy it used. It's fine, really. Honestly. Alright guys, that does it for this week of Game-Rave TV. We'll see you next week with pause mode. God knows what we're doing there. And then next Game-Rave TV, we'll be back to the letter game. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great month. Take care.